Welcome to the invisible current. Together, we'll learn to understand the currents shaping our world.
Most people imagine power as something loud, a title, a uniform, a badge, a throne. But real power is much simpler. Every civilization has created people entrusted with that responsibility. Sometimes they protect freedom. Sometimes they destroy it. Like driftwood, we don't choose the institutions we're born under, but understanding where power resides is the first step toward understanding the world around us. Very rarely does power work alone. It flows through layers of responsibility. Managers, teachers, parents, supervisors. Incentives explain almost everything. The supervisor isn't simply watching because he enjoys control. He's accountable to someone above him, and that person answers to someone else. The chain keeps moving. That's why understanding incentives matters more than assuming motives. Most systems produce exactly the behavior they reward. Eventually, every decision reaches a moment where it can no longer remain an opinion. It becomes a verdict. Institutions don't act by themselves. People act within institutions. A single voice can carry enormous weight because society has agreed to recognize that authority. Power isn't magic, it's delegated trust. The question isn't whether power exists, the question is whether those entrusted with it exercise wisdom or merely authority. One of the easiest ways to recognize power is not by looking at the one who possesses it. It's by watching everyone else. Conversations stop. Heads turn, attention shifts. Influence becomes visible through people's reactions. Markets do this, governments do this, families do this. Wherever attention gathers, influence is already at work. Power announces itself long before a word is spoken. Every decision leaves the room eventually. It becomes tomorrow's headline. What was once private becomes public. One signature, one verdict, one policy, one vote. History is filled with moments where ordinary people lived with extraordinary consequences, created by someone they never met. History doesn't repeat, but it often rhymes. The effects of power always travel farther than the one who started them could ever imagine. The verdict may be finished, but its consequences are only the beginning. Time becomes part of power. Sometimes power determines when you begin, sometimes when you wait, sometimes when you're free. None of us controls time, but those entrusted with authority often control how another person's time is spent. That is why power without wisdom becomes dangerous. The greatest burden of authority isn't processing it, it's answering for how it was used. Now we're back where we began. The image hasn't changed, but hopefully we have. Power was never merely the title, or the robe, or the gavel. It was every unseen influence flowing outward from a single decision, into families, into communities, and into history itself. Like driftwood, we don't choose every force that shapes our lives, but we can learn to recognize the current. We can prepare for it. And we can become people who exercise whatever influence we've been given with humility, wisdom, and responsibility.
Thank you for watching. Until next time, keep understanding the current